Gitu, berarti gitu. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, good morning, one and all.
Right.
See, we have seen consumer behavior and then organizational behavior. Today, we shall discuss about organizational buying decision making process. Okay, am I audible? Am I audible?
Eh, tas, ininya apa kalau karena belum. Hmm.
Hope that I am audible.
चलो जो
Okay.
है जो क्या चलिए तो करने का क्या सीख रही हो चलिए.
Okay. So, in organizational buying decision making process, there are about 8 stages. Okay. Like number one is problem recognition, then general need description, product specification, supplier research, proposal solicitation, supplier selection. Again, in the supplier selection, we have around 8 to 9 criterias. Then order routing specification, and then lastly is performance review. Let us now see one after the other. Yeah, number one is problem recognition. See, any no, if you want to take any decision, it starts with we have to recognize a problem, right? So or we can say a need that can be met by acquiring some good or service. So problem recognition is very first important one, which is always uh, done by just analyzing some internal and external inputs. External input that can be given by a salesperson or sometimes through an advertisement or something, some information you can get it from trade show. Okay, that is the first one. Second one is general need description. See, when we have come to know about the need which will satisfy our goods, after recognizing that, what the buyers would again do is they take the decisions from engineers, from users, from purchasing agents, and from others, so that he can identify and then privatize important product characteristics, now which is good, which is not good at all. So general need description is taken into consideration. Okay, and they take it from various sources. Okay, from consumers and engineers, purchasing agents, and all. Right. Next is product specification. Yeah. See, product specification, no, it's the responsibility of no engineering department. Okay. Now, engineers, they design several alternatives depending on the prioritize or priority list which is given in the general need description. No, so based on this, engineers what they do is they design some products and some alternatives so that you can pick the best one. So technical specifications are taken into consideration. Okay. Next is supplier search. Now, what the buyer, organizational buyer do is uh, they try to identify who can be their best supplier. Okay, who would be an appropriate vendor, you can say. Okay, so the buyer now examine from trade directories, or he may do some computer search, or phone some other companies for any recommendations or suggestions. Okay, because he want to know who would be his best supplier. So marketers at this stage, what they do, they contact possible opinions from leaders and some support, or contacting directly the buyer himself, what he can give in the specifications, or directly they can contact the buyers. Okay, that is one purpose for finding out who the best supplier would be. Then is proposal solicitation. Now, see, when qualified suppliers, no, they are invited to give some tenders or some proposals and all. Some suppliers, they send only a catalog, or they may send a sales representative. Okay, from them we can collect. Development is a complex task that requires no extensive research and skilled writing and presentation. So in extreme cases, proposals, no, they are again comparable to complete marketing strategies found in the consumer sector. So proposal solicitations, I mean, that is accepting proposals. Who is giving the best price, who is giving the best product, yeah, when the time would be any day, will they delay in giving the supply, all these things. So proposals are taken. So next is supplier selection. Now after all proposals are received, they what they do, they screen it, and then they make a choice. A significant thing what they do is they try to evaluate the vendor. So purchase managers, they consider three very important things when they want to select the supplier. Number one is delivery capability. That is, if they want 100 tons, are they in a position to supply that during that period? Okay, so delivery capability, and then consistent quality. It's not that to show a good they have shown a good sample, but they are delivering some low grade raw materials to them. So no, so they want a consistent quality. And then very important one is a fair price. So these are the three very important criteria, we can say, that the supplier would see. Uh, the buyer would see from the supplier. Their delivery capability, whether he's capable to deliver whatever the amount you're asking, quantity you might be asking, then quality should be good and fair price should be there. Now, apart from these, again, no, they consider, Hmm. as I told you, price, then even reliability of delivery dates. They may say one date, but they may give you after so many days. No, that would not be fair. So, reliability of delivery dates, then quality of the product and maintenance of the quality. As I told you, these three are very important. Apart from this, supplier's reputation in the market also, whether he has a very good reputation, that is brand, no, supplier is good. Then quick response to the needs of the customer, that is very important. Feedback, they should be good at very quick responses, they should give. Then capability of the supplier to supply regularly. If the demand increases, they need more raw materials, and all the supplier should be in a position to supply them regularly. Okay, then suppliers flexibility is also taken into consideration. Then consistency in dealing with supplies, and then sometimes the rejection rates are also there. So at this point of time, this amount of quantity you are giving, then you have to reduce the price, or like that. Okay, so there will be a bargaining, you can say, right? Next one is order routine specification. Now what the buyer do is he writes the final order, yes, with the because already all these things, no, all this task is been done, all the six things are done, six stages they have undergone, and then they choose the best supplier. Then listing all the technical specifications, the quantity they need, if they are providing guarantee or the warranty, yeah, and fair price, yeah, and whether they are in a position to supply when there is an increase in demand. All these things are taken into consideration and they choose a supplier. After that, the final stage would be performance review. Now, what the buyer does is he reviews the supplier's performance. So this is seems to be very simple, but it's again a very big complex process. Again, it depends upon the complexity of the product. So if you are buying a huge machinery, then things are different. When you're just buying some cotton or sugar cane and all, that also again differs. So these are the stages how the organization takes decisions for buying. Then now let us see the role of buying center. See, every organization, they have a buying center, so which plays a very critical role or very significant role, we can say, in this process. Now, when we look into this, we have to take into consideration three basic things. That is pre-decision making process, then decision making process, and then post-decision making process. So when we look into pre-decision process, what is its purpose? Now, what this buying center does? What it does is it develops possible and potential solutions to what to organizational need or to an organizational problem or to an organizational opportunity. So it's a deciding to decide, okay, if a solution will be sought to address this issue or not. Okay, so buying center here, what it is doing, it is developing a potential solution to this organizational problem. So when they are doing this, what activities they are carrying out in this buying center? Number one is acknowledging the problem or acknowledging the opportunity first. Then scanning the internal and external factors. Okay. So see, when COVID period was there, the products like masks, sanitizers, and all, they were in great demand. But we have now? No. So therefore, they what they do before making any decision, they just scan the internal and external environmental factors as well. Now after that, ideation comes of potential options, okay, routes to address this issues, no, from whom and from where we have to all this, so routes they find out. Then problem definition would be given very broadly, then they identify some resources, and then they just calculate the success outcomes also. So this is one first stage, that is pre-decision process. Now let us come to decision process, because so many alternatives are available. So many suppliers are there in the market, right? So, but we have to evaluate those potential suppliers and take the best one, right? So here what the purpose is, buying center, what it does is it try to analyze and evaluate those suppliers who are very potential to them, and then provide some of the components, okay, for their solution or for their opportunity or for their organizational problem. Now, what key activities they perform during this decision process is, see, external information search begins. Yeah, which is good, who is going good, what the competitors are doing, from where they are buying, and all these things. And then they will identify the potential vendors or suppliers. Then they take proposals, then they evaluate those proposals, and from that, the best one who is giving them the best price, okay, and the delivery capability is there or not, to all these things that they see. And then after that, they come to a negotiation, okay, a term negotiation terms. So no, either in you can say bargaining type. Yeah, I want this much raw materials for this much price, and also negotiation begins. Then they establish when they are good and all, they are happy with this, both supplier and buyer, they come to a establish a order routine. Okay, they exchange, and exchange begins of products, and then they service in paying them. Okay, so initial payment is made and then investments are made. So this is what is decision process. Now after that, post decision purpose would also be there. So buying center, what that they do, a post decision process also is done. The main purpose for this is they try to evaluate the supplier performance across the variety of objectives and subjective metrics, you can say. That is, yeah, what sample they have shown, are they providing that same quality, sustainability is there or not, yeah, the same quality is maintained or not, the fair price we are giving to that quality product or not. So like that they try to evaluate. Okay. Now here, when they are doing this post decision activities, or decision process, the key activities they perform is they review the product and services. Okay. With what? With the expectations. Yeah, buyer has some expectation, isn't it? So whether the suppliers is matching to the expectations of the buyer or not. Okay, who? The suppliers. Okay, suppliers expect suppliers supply is matching to the buyer's expectations or not. Okay, then investigation of pricing. Okay, so that no, they can confirm the accuracy, the fair price to the fair quantity and quality or not. So they try to match this. Then later on, again, if there are possibility, if they have found something that the quality is not good, the price is high, that they are buying, then they have another section called renegotiation. Okay, so again, terms and conditions would be negotiated, and if any changes are required, they make those changes. After that, they monitor the value delivery. Yeah, value delivery is monitored, and then reconciliation of order quantities and delivery schedules they provide. And they, if any technical issues come in between this, the buying center, what it does, it try to resolve those technical issues as well. Okay, so this is all about buying center. Yeah, if you have any queries here, we shall take up. Okay, then our next topic of interest today is the buying process. See, though this consumer decision process seems to be very simple, but they undergo many stages, many decision making process they have to see, and they have to evaluate different variables which are leading to complexities in understanding. So marketers, what they have to do is they have to understand the significance of different stages in order to design no suitable marketing strategies. So hence, the buying process has to be understood. Okay. So in this, we shall see the number one is problem recognition and information search behavior. Yeah. See, problem identification, it is the very first stage in consumer decision making process, because the gap between the desired state and actual state of consumption, it's the foundation, no, which helps in triggering the what we can say purchase process. Okay, the intensity of the problem again depends upon the significance of this gap. Okay, so hence problem recognition is to be understood. Information search again is the second stage. Okay, problem identification is first stage, and then second one is information search. In what? In consumer decision making process. Now, in information search, what the consumer or any buyer does is he or she, they try to search different alternatives. They are available for what? For meeting the problems identified during the problem identification stage. Okay. So the information search depends on type of decisions encountered, consumer involvement also has a direct bearing on this search effort. And no, this information search is used by consumers or as we can say a punch bag, that is a risk reduction strategy and all. Okay, the marketers needs to understand this. Yeah. Next is consumer decision making. We call them CDM model. Okay. See, this involves consumers to first identify their needs, then they have to gather information, then they have to evaluate the alternatives, and lastly, they have to make a buying decision, okay, or taking service from any service providers. Okay, if it is related to goods, they buy, and if it's related to services, they take the services, right? Now, the consumer behavior, as I told you in beginning classes, that they are determined by economical factors and psychological factors and social factors, social and cultural values, demographic environment, as such. Okay. So the consumer decision making behavior is a very complex one, because no, it starts from problem recognition to post purchase activities, not just purchase activity but to post purchase activities. So every consumer has different needs in their daily lives, and those needs which make them happy, no, it depends again on different situations. At one point of time he may be happy with that product, but at any other point he may not be happy with the same product. Okay, so human behavior is very complex one, so therefore the decisions also becomes very complex, comparing and then evaluating and then selecting from variety of products available, so that no, he get a satisfaction. So this makes understanding and realizing the basic problem of the consumer decision making process very critical for marketers, because they have to design marketing strategies. So they have to customize the products and services so that their consumers feels very happy. So they need to study all these things. So while they make no decision, there are some steps we can say. So steps in decision making process. Uh, Here is number one, need recognition and problem awareness. Then second one is information search. Then third one is evaluation of alternatives. Then after doing that, the best they will purchase. And then the last one is post purchase evaluation is done. Okay, so that again, if they are not satisfied, again need recognition and problem awareness occurs. If they are very happy, they go immediately for the purchase one. So this is a cycle. Let us look into first one, need recognition and problem awareness. See, we'll understand with an example. Suppose if an individual wants to buy a cold drink, so it can be Thumbs Up, it can be Mirinda, or it can be Limca, Ruah Afza, or Sprite, yeah, or a bottle of juice also. He may feel cold drink, no? So in paper boat or Tropicana or Minute Maid or Be Natural or Real, or these are the products available for different types of juices. Okay, so he wants to buy that cold drink. So he may think about this Thumbs Up or Mirinda or Tropicana or paper boat. Okay, they identifies as his need for thirst. Okay, so this can be grouped under routine needs category. So this happens as a matter of no repeated use and the brand preference and the loyalty they play in selection of products. So search effort, evaluation, and choice happen only in the first time, and later on, no repeat purchases based on their experience, based on their habit formation. Suppose if the person is happy with the Thumbs Up, he would again go if you want to no quench his thirst. He may be happy with the Thumbs Up. Some individual he may be happy with only just a glass of water. Okay, so that is what is so based on the habit formation. So, however, in such cases, steps such as information search and evaluation of alternatives are generally done more or less, okay, or sometimes missing also. But in the case of special or critical needs, these two steps are very important. What is that? Information search and then its evaluation. Okay. So if an individual wants to purchase very expensive items like a laptop or cars or mobile phones, no, or any healthcare provider, they need intensity, no, of knowing the information search from where we can get the best thing, how the price is, what are the quality available, what are the characteristics in each laptop or car or mobile phone and all. Okay, so they do an intensive search for that, and hence consumer prefers what, an elaborate and big one, a very risk reducing decisions. Okay, so this is one thing, first one. Okay, now when we look into the second step in our decision process in CDM, that is information search. See, consumers know they can use many sources. For example, they can ask their neighbors. Suppose if they want to have a refrigerator in their house, okay, a new one they want to buy, they can consult their neighbors, which product they are using, how the performance is, what is the rate, how many years it is giving you, for how many years it is giving you service, like that. Okay, you can ask the same thing from friends, the same thing from the family members, yeah, on phone or on WhatsApp and all these things. So that is, they are trying to collect information. So they are searching from various sources. Now, here marketers, what they have to do is they have to provide relevant information through advertisements. Suppose if it's a refrigerator company itself, or LG or anything, then proper information must be given through advertisements, through their retailers, through their dealers, yeah, and no, through their packaging also, or through their sales promotion, or no, even window displaying also. Okay, so marketers have to do this work. Now, mass media like newspapers, radio, and television, they also give lot of information. Yeah. So the information stage in the buying decision process, they may tend to change consumers' perception towards any particular product. Okay, so in fact, information can also be obtained through recommendations from people having previous experiences with these products. Okay, oh, that was very excellent. You can go with that. But that if such information is given by these products, by the people who had already used it, then you can go with that product also. So at this level, consumers tend to consider risk management, and then they prepare a list of features for a particular brand. Okay, so this can be done because most people do not want to regret, because it's an expensive product. They are investing in it and they want a long term benefits out of it, so they don't want to regret. So hence now much information would be gathered from advertisements, from retailers, dealers, from promotional activities, from various sources, newspapers, radio, and television. So as such, so because they don't want to regret later. Information of products and services can be, as I told you, from many sources. We can collect personal sources, that is from friends, family members, or co-workers, or any other acquaintances, no, while going, coming, and or just having a chat at the store and all. From there, they can collect information. Then commercial sources are there, that is through advertisements, through salespersons, through websites, through online marketplaces, or sometimes not through displays like props and mannequins, etc. Okay, and then supermarket shelves, packaging, yeah, that can prompt individuals, right? So commercial sources are there. Public sources, as I told you, newspapers, radio, magazines, yeah, all these things. Next one is experiential sources. That is individual's own experience, or no, gathering information from already used individuals. Okay, so experiential resources. So information search can be done through four very important sources that we have discussed now. That is personal sources, commercial sources, public sources, and experiential sources. Now, after collecting the information, what the buyer does is, excuse me, evaluation of these alternatives available. Okay, very critical one. See, any product, they have a bundle of attributes. For example, in washing machine, consumer considers price or capacity or the technology used or the quality, the model, and the size, isn't it? So bundle of attributes are there. So if you want, no, if he's just taking price into consideration, then he will look into the price. Then only capacity, then he look into the capacity of different brands, yeah, availability of those. Likewise, and factors like company, yeah, brand image, or in the country also. If you say they say Japanese or German technology is used, let us buy it to be very good and all, right? So such factors are also considered. Sometimes distribution network also, and they also see after sale service. This can be again a criteria for evaluating the alternatives available from there, which company, which brand, which product, yeah, they are giving the best things. Then marketers also should understand the importance of these factors with regards to what consumers while manufacturing and marketing their products. Okay. Okay. Next is purchase decision. So after having, they have seen the price, they have seen the capacity, they have technology, they have seen then quality, model, and size, and they are happy that yes, we'll go with LG refrigerator of so and so model and so and so size. Suppose then they have to make a purchase decision, isn't it? So outcome of the evaluation again, no, it develops some type of like towards the product or sometimes dislike, yeah, the other alternatives or the brands available. So a kind of likes and dislikes about the products and brands comes into the mind of the consumer. Okay, this attitude towards brand, no, if it is good and they are liking that, then they buy that. If not, if they dislike it, they just try to avoid it. They do not buy that, right? uh, Thus, no, prospective buyers here comes to a final selection. So he sees the factors like I told you, at a bundle of attributes like price, capacity, technology, and all these things. Apart from that, they will also see situational factors like no finance options, that is credit facility is there or not, or dealers terms and conditions, whether there's a falling in the price in the dip course, then they'll avoid buying now and they just postpone their buying that product in the near future. Okay, so situational factors are also taken into consideration by consumer. Okay, they are happy and they have bought they have bought that product. Then post purchase behavior is the next step. Okay, which marketer has to be working on it. He should be very concerned with that post purchase behavior of the consumers. So when they buy, they get some brand preference. No, only when the brand lives up to their expectations. Yeah, I need this price, so I got it. I need this quality, so I got it from this brand. I'm happy, it's available everywhere, and all such things are there. Then he'll feel very happy. This brand preference again naturally will lead to repeat purchase, isn't it? Again, the repeat sales would be there for the marketer. So a satisfied buyer, no, he's like a, we can call it as a like a silent advertisement. Yeah. But if the brand does not yield to his expectations or to his desired satisfaction, a negative feeling automatically develops, isn't it? Then it leads to a negative attitude towards that particular brand. So this phenomena we call it as cognitive dissonance. So marketers here they have to use this phenomena to attract users of other brands to their brands. So therefore, what they have to do, different promotional mix elements. Okay, price or a product and all the different elements in such a way they have to arrange that those who are not opting and other brands are opting, they want to change it to the brand. And apart from that, they have to attract new customers as well. Okay. Yeah. See, a simple model of CDM is consumer decision making. It has some, or what we can say, stages like input, process, and output. Very simple one. Input, process, and then output. See, now inputs. While making no uh, a purchase decision making process, some inputs have to be considered. So inputs consists of what firms marketing strategies as well as socio-cultural environment of whom, of the consumer. Okay. Apart from that, consumer's psyche and his past consumption experiences also have to be uh, are the you can say dormant inputs. Okay, well the same they play a very active role in the process stage. See, farms marketing strategies needs a excuse me, need some certain inputs, no, like product, packaging, media advertisements, direct marketing, personal selling, or brand pricing, channels they are using, yeah, promotional strategies, target markets, overall strategies, etc. Okay. Social culture environment has certain inputs like discussion with friends, usage by other people, media influence or media editorial, expert comments, then internet discussion groups, yeah, culture, subculture, government advertising or lobbying, etc. All these things are comes under input. Okay, so this stage no involves activities that the firm has to undergo to sell these products. Okay, next is process. Purchase process they reflects different stages while choosing the product, while buying the product, while using the product. Okay, as we were discussing since morning, that is need recognition is the first one. The consumer does or does not understand what the certain needs they have that need to be fulfilled. And in the case of thirst, I said some may be very happy with just water, so, to quench their thirst. Some may be happy if they take a thumbs up, or some may be happy with the just coconut water. And so need recognition. Yeah, right. Next is pre-purchase search. So consumer always they rely on their past experience first, yeah, as an internal source of their information. See, I had used this, hence it was very good and all. Let us find that same product in the market like that. So internal source of information. But if this is not sufficient, then they they start searching for, yeah, externally, yeah, searching for information externally, uh, for which they can use internet or in store or brochures or sometimes no product reviews also. Reviews also that's in most of the people they watch movie after seeing the review whether this movie has 5 star or not, is it 4 star, should we go or not, like that. So reviews are taken into consideration. Then they may ask some salesperson or friends or family, or they just see the packaging and advertising of it, and they see the direct marketing channels. Yeah. So this is pre-purchase search. Then they evaluate alternatives. So as number of brands are available in the market, they cannot buy all those brands, isn't it? So what they do, they try to weigh each brand with the expectations of their need. Okay. So they see these things. And set of brands are mostly characterized into sometimes acceptable criteria or acceptable factors or unacceptable, no. um, and the criteria is usually based on very important product attributes. Okay, so this is the process. Then ultimate is output. Here output is what, they have done a lot of work to buy that product, isn't it? So hence they buy it now. So for output would be purchase. Consumer will obviously what they do, they decide whether to buy that product or not to buy the product. Only two conditions are there. Yes, they have evaluated all these things, and then they either buy the product or they just neglect that product. Okay, so sometimes some people what they do, they make trial purchases. Yeah, some consumers they just buy that product to try and then evaluate. Okay, uh, that is trial purchases. And then is repeat purchases. So if they are very happy, they just go on buying that. They don't leave it. They become very loyal to that product. Next is long-term commitment purchases. So some products they require commitment where a trial purchase is not possible. Heavy investment they have to make. Yeah, they have to buy that thing, and safety also is considered. So like refrigerators or stoves or micro ovens and all these things. Okay, so this is there. So input, process, and output. Then comes post purchase evaluation. So, from prior expectations to what actually product performance is, consumers what they do, they track their journey, and then they come to a perception, and then they evaluate that product. And if they are satisfied, they buy. If they are neutral, they say, okay, sometimes we'll buy, sometimes or not. Okay, let us be neutral, and they don't say anything good of that through the word of mouth. Okay, if they are dissatisfied, then they will never buy that product. So this is all about CDM, simple process of, yeah. Any doubts? Yeah. No. Okay. Then we'll move further. Now we'll see types of consumer decisions. Okay. So there are four types of consumer decisions. One is high utility value and less familiarity, high utility value and high familiarity, low utility value and low familiarity, low utility value and high familiarity. Okay. Yeah. See, high utility value or significance or importance. Okay. High utility value and less familiarity is one type of consumer decision. Now, listen carefully. Product is expensive. It has a brand significance in society, but less frequently bought, lesser no knowledge about the product. This involves very high decision making as the significance of the product to buy to the buyer is very high, and the information on the product and its brand is low. Now, we'll understand by an example. See, buying a house, investing in firms or fashion clothing or jewelry. Here, this buyer has no experience or sometimes very less experience buying such products. Okay. That means they are very less familiar, right? Less familiar, high utility value. So here, a lot of information search must be done, and the marketer should provide more information to them, then they'll buy that product. Okay. So high utility and less familiarity. Then high utility and high familiarity. So here, buying a house or automobile, yeah, when buyer is very familiar with the product and quite knowledgeable. Okay, here product also is very expensive, and it has some brand significance in society. It is also again less frequently bought, but the familiarity factor is very high. Okay. Uh, The significance of this product is high, as I told you, and the buyer is aware of the product characteristics and also its manufacturers. So here we can say that person is knowledgeable about the product, but and either he or his close ones have first-hand experience of the product. Okay, so this is next is low utility value and low familiarity. See, product is inexpensive, buyer ready to experiment these products. Yeah, limited decision making is involved here because no, his need is just to walk in a store and check the different brands and whichever is displayed in a very beautiful way and all. He may buy for experimenting it, isn't it? Yeah, he also sees the price whether it is low and whether risk of a loss is also low or not. Okay, for example, buying a chewing gum or a candy bar or balloon or a salt, they don't do lot of information search, isn't it? They just go to the store, they just see where it is available, and if the packaging is good, if the flavor is coming very good and all, they just buy it, chewing gum or on candy bar on, right? Okay. Or for and buying an ice cream also, a buyer will just check the price and brand and buy it without any much evaluation. So low utility value and low familiarity. Next is low utility value and high familiarity. Here again, see low utility when I'm saying is product is inexpensive. Buyer they habitually buy these products to satisfy the need from the same brand. And here the buyer will reach out to the product from the same brand and does not want to try any other brand. Okay. For example, a buyer feeling an urge to have something sweet while shopping, right? He may buy a candy bar or a chocolate or a laddu or a no chicky and all these things, which he used to buy in the past, right? So they may just check again here only the price, right? And they just buy. Okay, so this is how. Moreover, remember that a lot of things depends upon the economic conditions of the buyer, whether his income level is high or not. So it depends on that economic condition. Okay, for an upper class person, buying a treadmill will require a limited decision making. But buying that same treadmill by a lower or a middle class person, he has to do a lot of no information search, then evaluating all the alternatives available, the price, yeah, the brand, and also a lot of work in the selection process is done by the lower and middle class people. Okay, so here the main difference between high decision making and low decision making is not nothing but no evaluating different products, different brands, different alternatives available in the market, and lot of information search and all these things. Okay, next topic of interest is levels of consumer decision process. Okay, here we have three specific levels. Number one is extensive problem solving. We call it as EPS, okay, or extended involvement decisions. Number one, that is okay. Second one is limited problem solving or limited involvement decision. We call it as LPS. And the third one is routine problem solving or nominal involvement decisions. See, when we look into the first specific level of decision making, that is extensive problem solving. See, when consumers buy a new or unfamiliar product, they usually know it involves the need to obtain that some information and a long time they take to choose it, isn't it? They must form the concept of a new product category and then determine the criteria to be used in choosing that particular product or not. Okay, so when consumers have no established criteria for evaluating no, that product, uh, what they do is they just consider to a manageable subset, no, the decision making efforts they can be classified as extensive problem solving. At this level, the consumer, what they do, they needs a great deal of information to establish a suitable criteria to judge their specific brands. Okay. Next is limited problem solving. See, their search no of buying a product uh, is no very limited, we can say. Okay. Consumers are familiar with both product category and as well as they know the brands also, but they have not fully established that brand preferences here in this case. Okay. They search for additional information which helps them to to differentiate between different brands. Okay, various brands. At this level of problem solving, consumer, they have already have a very basic idea of evaluating the brands. So they have not fully established this preference concerning a selected group of brands. So they search for additional information, is more like fine tuning. They must gather additional brand information. So lot of information search and evaluation would be done at this stage. Okay. Next is the routine problem solving. See, when consumers have already purchased a product, they require very little time, or they do not go for information search to choose their product, because they are habituated with that. They have become very automatic in buying those products. So at this level, consumers have experience with the product category and set of category, and the evaluation also is there. So definitely they'll just make it a routine purchase. Okay. Now, consumer involvement is another concept we have to understand. Okay. See, consumer involvement no is the amount of effort a consumer puts in what? Into searching. Yeah, searching. So his searching again depends on various factors like market conditions, product features or characteristics, even consumers' characteristics, situational characteristics. No, all these things that depends while searching for a brand or a product. So involvement, this again affects the consumer behavior. Okay, as it is related to search for information, information processing, and then information transmission. So therefore, no, consumers' involvement is again very important. This can be not temporary, or it can be a permanent one. It can be situational, or it can be enduring one. Okay, so consumer involvement concept also one should understand. Now, in this, when we are talking about consumer involvement, we have to understand situational involvement, that is, which is temporary. The consumer may not be particularly interested in a particular product category, but he may be involved in long enough to make an informed decisions. Okay, into an important product category. So it's temporary. It again no related or refers to the to what we can say emotional feelings of the consumer. Okay, experiences in a particular situation when he thinks to buy a specific product. Okay. When purchase has been made, the consumer may stop giving much attention to that particular product. Okay, it is situational, right? For example, chewing gum, as I said, he feels like having something chewy and all, goes to the store, buy one that, and then eats it, and then forgets it. It's only situational. His involvement is temporary. It is situational. Whereas enduring environment, here the consumer remains very interested in that particular product, usually because of his inherent interest, you can say. Okay. If he or she does not anticipate making purchase immediately, so they don't buy immediately. For example, many tech individuals, they spend a great deal of time reading computer magazines when new issues come out. Okay, so enduring involvement is no is permanent, we can say, is a persistence over time and refers to feelings experienced towards a product category against no different situations. Okay. Now, for example, holiday makers planning for their trip, they are very, involved in it, where to go. Yeah. Uh, yeah, way to go. Not, but sometimes no, this is again situational also, we can say, because they just plan to go a particular place and then enjoy. It can be a temporary sometimes. It may be situation. But whereas involvement of a person whose hobbies, who we can say whose hobbies racing, that induce over time and affects his responses in any situation related to pre-purchase or purchase or post-purchase. Okay. Of especially sports bikes, sports cars and all. So it is here observed that involvement is triggered, I by special situation in case of holiday makers. Uh, mm, but in sports cars and sports cars and all, it is consumers, we can say emotional or ego state. Okay. So here the contrast is between situational and enduring involvement. So therefore both are important. So here what marketers have to do is they have to measure the involvement they examine, and that means the consumer examine to extent to which they can induce the consumer in buying their product. Okay. Can we go to the other topic? It's already 11:30. Shall we discuss about causes of consumer involvement? If you have any doubts, okay, then we shall discuss about causes of consumer involvement and other topics tomorrow. Okay, thank you.